In this video, I would like to show you how urban and architectural designers think and work. They are the professionals who design the living environment of people. They, among others, design the spatial conditions for active and healthy aging. Rooms, buildings, streets, neighborhoods, city districts, cities, and even city regions. Urban, architectural and landscape architectural designers are opportunity and possibility thinkers. When they assess a spatial environment, they have the talent to see differently. Designers see the essence and quality of a place or an environment, the so-called genius loci. Designers can tell you what characterizes a place or an environment and what makes it or has made it unique. Designers see what different kinds of behaviors are made possible by this environment. Designers are alternative explorers. Designers are lateral thinkers. Designers see the potential of a place, that is, with what kind of spatial intervention this place can become a more successful place. Designers can come up with solutions and suggestions really quick, sometimes even before an explicit problem field definition has been made. And finally, designers visualize their ideas of intervention. By doing so, they communicate directly to other stakeholders. A picture is worth 1,000 words is a saying that could have been invented by architects. I would like to elaborate on two ways of design thinking. One, on the tradition of placemaking, and two, on the design for all approach. Placemaking is a tradition in the fields of urban architectural and landscape architectural design worthwhile exploring from the point of view of aging and health. Placemaking is all about making places for people. In fact, about making better places for people than would otherwise be produced. This is a normative assertion about what placemaking designers believe what design should be about. When you design for cars, you get a city full of cars. When you design for people, you get a city full of people, is one of their favorite sayings. Research in placemaking design projects gives us all kinds of design criteria or design principles for what they call great places. For successful parks, streets, squares, stations, markets, waterfronts, campuses, downtowns, public buildings, etc. In general, you can say that great places meet the criteria of connectivity, accessibility and linkage, use urban functions and activities, image, looks and comfort, and finally, openness, friendliness and sociability. In order to become a great place, people should be able to get to that place quickly, easily and comfortably. Multimodal accessibility is pivotal. That is, the possibility to get to a place with all kinds of modes of transport. It automatically guarantees all kinds of people. Furthermore, great places are well connected and linked to other places, have spatially well integrated parking facilities for both bikes and cars, have walkable distances internally, are pedestrian-friendly environments in general, and are so-called readable and legible environments, which means that they are environments where people can find their way easily. People go to places because there's something to do for them. Places become places full of liveliness when there are things to do for various people. In urbanism terms, this is called the program of the city, the urban functions like living, working and leisure. Some urban facilities are used by people on a daily basis, like a supermarket. Some urban facilities people use less regularly, like a museum. A mix of daily and non-daily facilities again attracts different kinds of people, supporting the vitality of places. Great places are great places because people like being there. They feel good, they look good. The atmosphere is pleasant. There's literally space to enjoy the place. People can sit and people can meet other people. Great places are safe, clean and attractive. Sometimes they have a historical value, but they have at least a clear, strong and positive identity. As a result of the above-mentioned aspects, people like to stay longer at great places, come back more often, come there also in the evening, participate more often in activities over there, feel more responsible for the place and develop more social networks over there. One can observe that the more vulnerable user groups, like seniors, come to these kinds of places. A great place is a sociable place. The Design for All approach is a second interesting approach in the field of urban architectural and landscape architectural design, which relates directly to vulnerable user groups. This approach starts by saying, if your design is adequate and suitable for vulnerable user groups, it's okay for all. Therefore, the designer should not design for the average user, but for the vulnerable user. For example, when an architect designs the entrance of a building without a threshold, the building becomes accessible for a wheelchair user. But it has also become easily accessible now for a father carrying 2 full shopping bags and his crying young daughter. Everyone is more or less vulnerable every now and then. A staircase design that meets the wishes of people who cannot take the steps are in need of a gentle slope and places to stop and rest. When nicely integrated in the building, stairs and ramps can become very functional and beautiful structures at the same time, inviting people to use them. I would like to finish now with a more generic framework of how designers work, developed by one of my colleagues here at the Faculty of Architecture in the Built Environment. It gives insight in design processes. Designers do experiments all the time. They analyze a design situation, develop ideas for solutions, evaluate those solutions, do more research when it's needed, and finally choose and decide. To give focus to these experiments, designers look for something that binds and brings coherence to the separate design choices. This something is also known as the vision behind the design, or the concept of the design proposal. Additionally, experienced designers work in several domains at the same time. For example, architects have to develop solutions for a functional floor plan, but also the materialization of the facade and the bearing structure of the building at the same time. An urban designer, for example, has to make design decisions for the city structures and public spaces, but also needs to think about the large number of stakeholders who are influenced by the plan. So he needs to develop a governance and communication strategy as well. A designer is a kind of juggler, because design decisions in one domain can influence decisions in other domains directly. Of course, the content and nature of the domains differ per design discipline. During projects, designers build and use a frame of reference, a library of knowledge, examples, principles from elsewhere, which might be helpful for and applicable in their design situation. And finally, designers use the design language, a combination of visual communication, like drawings and models, and oral and written communication. Designers combine analytical research skills with creative solution-oriented skills. See you, hopefully, in my next video on designing for older people.